Welcome back to A Moment in History. I'm Seth Udinsky. In the story of America, one man stands tall, quite literally, as possibly the most important iconic figure in our nation's history. He was both humble and shrewd, a man of easy demeanor and tenacious mental toughness. He, in some ways, single-handedly guided the nation through its darkest period. 85 years after its founding, the United States was fractured over the issues of slavery when 11 southern states seceded. The nation needed a leader to save it, and it got that in its 16th president, the tall wood splitter from Illinois, Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln was every bit the mythological figure who would become the man to guide the nation through its darkest hour. He was tall and easygoing, born and raised in poverty in Kentucky. He then moved to Illinois as a young man and entered the political sphere as a member of the Whig Party. Now, he entered the House of Representatives in the year 1846. Now, at this time, a third party in the Union began to gain steam, and in 1856, Lincoln abandoned the dying Whig Party in favor of this new faction, the Republican Party. Like the Whigs, the Republicans favored the North, but unlike the Whigs, the Republicans were, for the most part, the party of abolition, where the Whigs seemed at least friendly to abolition, but unwilling to destroy slavery altogether. Lincoln rose to prominence in the Republican Party, and he was elevated for nomination in the 1860 presidential election. He won the election, but he inherited a nation divided. Months before he began his first term, 11 southern states seceded from the Union, and as he began his first term, the treason of the Confederate States led to the outbreak of the Civil War. Now, as Providence would have it, Lincoln was the perfect man for the job. He guided the nation through all 4 years of the war, which lasted the duration of his 4 years in office. Not only did he lead the North to victory and the Union to ultimate preservation, he also brilliantly navigated the difficult terrain of slavery. His leadership would bring about the Emancipation Proclamation and finally the 13th Amendment, which would outlaw slavery in the nation forever. So Lincoln was brilliant, doing whatever was necessary to preserve the Union. And as he was for the war, he was the ideal man for the job after the war. Most of the nation felt this to be the case as he won a second term in the 1864 election. Weeks after he began his second term in 1865, the Confederates surrendered and the war was over. But not a week after that, Lincoln traveled to a theater in Washington, D.C. to view the production of the patriotic comedy Our American Cousin. During that play, Lincoln was shot and killed in cold blood by Confederate sympathizer John Wilkes Booth. Many historians believe the tumultuous period of Reconstruction could have gone much differently had the man who had preserved the Union been able to finish his second term. Lincoln is remembered as one of the greatest presidents in American history and one of the titanic figures in the history of the world. Thanks so much for joining me once again for A Moment in History.